Welcome to Deep Cuff Channel. Ukraine is coming to checkmate Russia. Russia is about to lose all its pawns. U.S. Army is sending a game-changer system to Ukraine. U.S. military may be involved in the Ukraine war. Ukrainian Air Force is stronger than before. Belarus is trying to make an important move on the Ukrainian border. Russia is doing its best to prolong the war. What other systems can the U.S. military supply to Ukraine? Will Iran send missiles to Russia? Ukraine's defense inventory continues to strengthen. Turkey can supply new warplanes to Ukraine. Ukrainians continue to drive Russian troops from the front. According to the latest news from the region, Russia lost 480 soldiers, 1 tank, 8 armored combat vehicles, 4 artillery systems, and 8 tactical drones in the past day. After these attacks, the authorities in the Kremlin decided to withdraw their troops from the eastern region. According to Serhiy Haidai, head of the military administration of Luhansk Oblast, Russia announced that Russian troops in the Svardov region have begun to withdraw towards Luhansk Oblast. Main reason for the Russians to take this decision is shown as the fearless advance of the Ukrainian army. Russians are trying to use Shahid drones and S-300 systems to secure their escape. It was also reported that Russian missile and artillery units attempted a total of 10 attacks on Ukrainian targets in the Luhansk and Donetsk regions. In addition to these attack attempts, Russia attempted a total of 62 attacks using 3 missiles, 10 airborne and multiple rocket launchers. According to the statement made by the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, all attacks on Andriivka, Yampolivka, Rozdolivka and Bakhmut regions were successfully repelled by the Ukrainian Defense Forces. Total number of Russian attacks in the region is estimated at 225. In response, the Ukrainian army began to use warplanes. Ukrainian Su-24 aircraft carried out intense bombardments, especially on Russian targets in the Donbass region. Another important point in these attacks is the use of 25 cruise missiles by Ukrainian warplanes. These missiles were known to be in the Ukrainian inventory, but they were used for the first time at the front. These missiles, which have quite devastating effects, caused serious damage to the Russian troops. In response, Russia began to make new preparations in the southern and northern regions. According to reports from the southern region, the Russians delivered new missiles to 11 warships in the Black Sea. It was claimed that a total of 20 missiles were fired from the ships in the region. While the target of these missiles was being discussed, critical news came from the northern region. According to the Joint Commander of the Ukrainian Armed Forces, Serhiy Haidai, Belarus has begun to move 2 motorized rifle and 2 tank battalions towards the Ukrainian border. Although it is not known exactly for what purpose these military units were sent to the region, important claims were made by the West. According to some Western think tanks, the buildup of Russian forces in Belarus indicates that Moscow will launch a new offensive, possibly targeting Kiev. Latest report of the Institute for War Studies confirms this information. Joint Forces Group currently on the Belarus-Ukraine border has been conducting exercises in the region for a long time. Military analysts claim that these units rehearsed the battle of Belarusian President Alexander Lukashenko. This is the beginning of the end of the war, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said while visiting Kherson recently. The statement clearly expresses Russia's current strategy. Russia aims to deplete the resources of the Ukrainian army by prolonging the war. However, this does not seem possible as long as the support from Western countries continues. As a matter of fact, the aid packages announced during Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky's visit to the United States completely put Russia's strategy into trouble. In particular, the U.S. military's supply of Patriot air defense systems to Ukraine may be the biggest aid since the beginning of the war. Patriot systems will be delivered and integrated into Ukraine's defense in the coming months. Some experts suggest that the Patriot will be operationally ready to fulfill its missions in the summer. In addition, according to CNN, The USA will increase its logistical support by giving all the Soviet systems it seized to the Ukrainian army. Currently, there are serious stocks of weapons and ammunition in the countries of Eastern Europe, the former Soviet countries. Once these stockpiles reach Ukraine, Russia will have nowhere to run. In addition, the U.S. military could be involved in the Ukraine war at any time. U.S. 101st Airborne Division said it was ready to enter Ukraine if a call came in. Commander of the U.S. Army, Colonel Ed Matades, said his troops were ready to enter Ukraine if the call came. 5,000 U.S. troops stationed on NATO's southeast flank are currently known as the closest unit to war. U.S. artillery, located on Romanian territory, has range to fire at Russian targets in western Ukraine. While tensions continue in the region, Russia continues to take into its inventory the systems that it believes could change the course of the war. In this context, Russia's advanced Russian Tu-160 million bomber made its first flight. According to the press release, the flight was part of important tests. These included avionics, engine performance and fire control systems, as well as aircraft stability and handling. Tupolev has released a video showing the takeoff and landing of the Tu-160 million. It can be seen from the video footage that the stealth coating of the aircraft is about to be applied. In addition, Russia began tests of the third Lada-class attack submarine in Petersburg. Ministry of Defense of the Russian Federation has plans to complete sea tests in the coming days. If successful after its completion, the B-587 submarine will be accepted into the service of the Russian Navy. Russian submarines are known to be truly serious power multipliers with not only regional but global implications. These systems, which vary according to their use, have not been used officially since the Second World War. Russia wants to use both the Tu-160 bomber and these submarines to regain its regional and global authority. It was also known that Russia wanted missiles from Iran to change the situation in its war with Ukraine. There are new explanations about this situation. Kyrylo Budanov, head of the main Directorate of Intelligence of the Ministry of Defense of Ukraine, announced that Iran has so far refused to supply missiles to Russia. Iran is not in a hurry to do this for obvious reasons, because as soon as Russia launches the first missiles, the pressure on Iran will increase, Budanov said. It was known that Iran gave a total of 2,000 unmanned aerial vehicles to Russia. But Russia has already lost the vast majority of these systems. Russia wants to turn the tide of the war with missiles and drones, as other Russian air units are ineffective. But the Ukrainian Air Force can become stronger at any moment. In this context, her jet, the first jet-powered fighter aircraft produced by Turkey with domestic and national resources, was taken out of the hangar. Ministry of National Defense announced that the first flight tests will begin in 2023. Production schedule of the Turkish defense industry is progressing smoothly so far. In addition, the Hurjet fighter jet is already on sale. Logically, the first customer was the Ministry of National Defense, which placed its first order. Considering the Turkey-Ukraine relations, it would not be wrong to think that the Ukrainian Air Force is the potential buyer of Hurjet. If the Ukrainian Air Force is reinforced with Hurjet warplanes, the nightmare of the Russian troops is nigh. We will continue to monitor the world and especially Ukraine. We'll see what happens in the next few days. We have reached the end of another video. You can support us by liking the video. You can easily follow new videos by subscribing. I wish you all a war-free day. See you.